also the two biggest mistakes that people will make. Well, yeah, kind of three mistakes. So many mistakes now. So one is getting in the right mindset. And I talk a lot about that. I feel like you can find, how can I organize? Like, what are the steps? Anywhere.
All right, friends, we are back with Ria today. Hope you enjoyed part 1 yesterday. Today, we're going to talk about organization for new parents based on our new book, The Organized Home for New Parents, and also how to handle your kitchen, because that is quite the undertaking. She's going to tell us how to bite into it little by little. Enjoy.
Okay.
A little bit.
So what does that look like? What were your steps to get out of this depression?
So I feel like I'm still working through it, but medicine was major. I'm a huge advocate. If you need it, don't be ashamed of it. Whatever's gonna help get you centered. You were talking about meditation before we got started, and I really, really should look into that, because I think that would be a beautiful addition to my day, just to take a moment for myself. But
I'll share my favorites with you after.
Yes, amazing.
Won't bore the Heal Squad because they know.
Well, I'm super excited. And it's the little things, like even just like going outside and getting fresh air, getting dressed in the morning. Like I was like starting to like stay in my sweats all day. Like it was just for me getting weird. Like I'm like, this isn't me. Like I'm always like upbeat, like on the go. Like I don't sit and like, veg out. And like, I just wanted to be in bed or be, watching Netflix all day. Like I wasn't doing that, but that's where my headspace was. Mm-hmm. And so it was really hard for me to be present in where I was. And so just the little things of, we were talking about when you start a project, it's the most intense, but then it's easier to maintain. And so like laundry that had gotten so built up. It's like, okay, I am spending this whole day, like we are going to do this, and filming myself again, putting my kids' clothes away. It helped me do it, whether I've used things for content or not, which I probably 80% I'm not. But me filming it, I'm like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, it keeps you accountable.
It really does keep you accountable.
And it keeps you motivated in a sense to want to be better for everyone else too.
Yes. And that was also it's one thing to feel all out of sorts and feel like you're letting yourself down. When you're feeling like you're letting your husband down, when you feel like you're letting your 3 children down, oh my gosh, like the hunt for their uniforms, like we were just living like cave people for a second. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. Like their lunches were all sad because I wasn't getting groceries on time. I just was out of it, and just figuring out of like, okay, here's my list of all the stuff that I feel like I've dropped the ball on. Like I've just got to tackle one thing at a time.
Lists are so important.
And I'm the person that like will write something just to cross it out too, because it feels so good.
Kevin loves doing that too.
And I think what I've learned is like, you can't half-ass a million things. And I feel like I've been trying to do so many things, but it was all half-assing, and I had to whole ass one at a time.
Yeah. I had a moment just this last week where someone called, and I answered the call, and all of a sudden now I'm about to do a meeting the next day with somebody I haven't seen in like 15 years. And someone passed in my life, and I had to cancel it. And then trying to reschedule it became now so much work. I'm like, wait, why am I doing this? I don't even have time for this. And I just have to be honest. And so I emailed them and I said, listen, I just have to be honest. I don't have time in my schedule for this. And if I was going to cram it in just for the sake of pleasing them, it was going to hurt me so much, which is then going to trickle down to my husband and my baby. And so I had to say no very sweetly. And that was it. And so I think we have to get good with realizing like we are only one person. We can only do so much. And we have to remember that our mental state and our mental well-being is so critical, not just for us, but for everyone around us. So we have to choose accordingly. And I'm really trying to guard, as I see the rest of the year is so scheduled, I'm really trying to guard the few little segments I have that are open for myself, because it, like, even my best friend was supposed to come visit this weekend. I said, I can't do it. I'm like, I just can't. I wish I could. I really can't. And she's either going to be okay with that or she's not. And that's not up to me. I can't make those decisions, of how she's going to feel. I have to think of what's best for me. And I knew I needed time to do my work, to recharge, to sleep, to not feel like even remotely needing to entertain. And she's not someone I ever have to entertain.
Right.
But
You
I
still
still,
feel it.
you still
Yeah.
feel like you want to please people and
Of
make it fun
course.
for them.
Mhm.
So we have to be so careful.
I don't know if it's like a quote or something that I read, but it was like, don't confuse my free time for me being available.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that insane? Like where you think like, and I was someone that I always felt like I needed to be doing something like, you know, productive or for other people, or okay, technically I am available. I guess I can do that call, or
Yes.
I am free. I guess I
Yes.
can do that call. But sometimes you just need time for you and you're not available for other people.
Yeah.
You're only available to yourself and that's okay. Or you're only available to your family and that's okay.
I think we get guilty when we know there is space available, but I know my mental space isn't available because I know I'm so overwhelmed that that space is so needed for me to stay sane.
Yes.
So, but I feel guilty sometimes.
But not everybody does. Not everybody feels that guilt. And I didn't know that.
Healthy
But
people.
yeah, honestly, like my husband is so good at just being like, yeah, I need me time. It's recharging time. And I'm like, okay, if I was doing that right now, like I would feel like such a POS, even though I'm not. Like he's so good at knowing, like he'll go and
Mhm.
drive for an hour and a half and listen to an Audible. Like he just needs to decompress.
Oh, I like that.
Oh yeah, he's a big Audible, big reader.
Wow, honey, I like that.
Like
Go
he
for a
schedules
ride,
those
listen
things
to you.
in.
I've been listening to
You know, if we
John
only-
Maxwell's
The
leadership
problem is
book.
we don't have enough cars.
Honey,
So what do you do in that case? What? Sorry. Continue.
what are
please.
you sorry for? What are you sorry for, honey?
Well, Ria doesn't know us. We have several cars, and they're designed to drive and be enjoyed. And I happen to be like your husband, where I like to take those moments just for my ride to work. It means a lot to me. So I like having a nice car to decompress. And so, Maria, I'm just saying.
I was in the middle of a thought.
Yes, I'm helping you with your thought. So now you
oh,
can
thank
drive
you.
your Jeep
So
and listen to Maxwell.
I accept
What?
your apology for interrupting
Yes.
me.
No, I'm assisting you.
I was saying I just recently started listening to a book on tape and I really enjoyed it, but I never thought of just going for a ride and listening to it just for the ride. That's kind of fun.
He loves doing it. When we used to live in California, he would do this one drive like through the hills. He loved it. And I always know when he has a good book because I can like track him or whatever, and he's skipping all the tollways. Like he'll take the longest
No
routes
way.
to come home.
So I used to be able to track Kevin and he removed the ability for me to track him. He doesn't realize
I
this,
didn't
but
even know I
now
did that.
he doesn't even realize that it was actually saving him so many calls from me because I would see he was on
Yes.
the way home and then I wouldn't bother him because I knew he was coming
That
home.
is the number one reason why my husband loves it, because I am so annoying.
Yeah.
Like I call all the time.
Yeah. So I called him less. Now I call him more frequently. So if you'd like to turn it back on, honey, and I can track you, then I'll know.
No, I turned it off. I
That's
just
so
switched
great.
phones. I didn't do anything.
Likely story.
Okay, so I really love your story. I love how relatable you are in all of this, and I want to give our Heal Squad some more organization tips from you. Obviously, the book is amazing, and it's called The Organized Home for New Parents. So I feel like let's go to some of the amazing organization ideas you have for new parents like me that are trying to keep their shit together while babies are screaming, needing to be fed, diapers need to be changed, and
Yes.
just to it's a lot to get through. And I mean, listen, I'm not complaining because I have a completely different experience. I tell everyone, do not even ask me because you're having a way harder journey than me, because my hard journey happened with all my healing journeys. And it led me to a place where I have help to help me because I can't get sick again. So this baby needs me. But I didn't carry her. I didn't have to go through postpartum. I didn't have to go through all those challenges that make this even harder than
I wouldn't
just
say that makes it even harder. I think that you have your own set of challenges that you're approaching.
Yeah, well,
Don't you do that over there.
I have that, like, I have to feel like I'm not allowing people to compare because I'm having pretty much pure bliss and joy right now, where I know it's so hard for other people, but the every 2 to 3 hours feeding and trying to get them to sleep and doing all this stuff is challenging enough. then you have to try to keep spaces organized.
It's so nuts. And
So hard.
And honestly, you just want to give yourself the best shot at keeping it together.
I like that.
And I mean, the way I explain this book is it's going to save you some sanity. Like this isn't just, the magic pill that makes everything perfect. It's all an insane journey. My kids are now 8, 6, and 4. So I'm kind of getting into that new phase, and writing this book really put me back into those early times. And that was just nuts in the best way, like truly beautiful chaos. But it was a lot of the things that I learned that I put in this book to hopefully help people not make those mistakes and just be set up a little bit better. So with my daughter, Landry, she was my firstborn, I talk about this moment in the middle of the night. It's like 2 a.m. I was having so much trouble breastfeeding. I had like mastitis in one boob. The other one didn't work. Like, it was just like this whole thing. And I was so stressed because I'm like, I'm having to keep her alive. And then she's a blowout diaper and I can't find the freaking diaper and I can't find it's like I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything I needed when I needed it.
Yes, that gets so frustrating when you're looking for their pajamas
oh my
or
gosh,
their
yes.
bathrobe or where's their bath towel and
because it's already so stressful. You're just, there's nothing easy about it.
I put Athena in a sleep sack the other night and I was like, wow, this looks really big. And then all of a sudden I look at the cameras and it's covering her face and I lost it. And I raced upstairs and I'm like, oh my God, something so simple can go so wrong so fast.
It's such a nuts time and you're going through so much mentally too. I remember waking up in the middle of the night and I woke up searching my bed and my floor. I thought I had dropped my daughter and Connor got up and he was like, Ria, she's downstairs with your mom. Like my mom was staying for the first 2 weeks and like whatever. So all
or even last night, honey, you don't even know. Last night I was paranoid that I swaddled her too tightly. And I actually came in the room. You were asleep with her. I came in the room and I wanted to just make sure she was breathing. Oh, yeah. So I put my hand just gently over. I felt the breathing and I was like, thank you, God. Because she hadn't moved in 4 hours.
It's terrifying.
I looked at the cameras and she hadn't moved.
And you can't really tell with the cameras. You're like, is this a good enough camera? Like I can't see her stomach moving.
Well, I just didn't know.
Let me help you. So I get up every hour and a half, 2 hours. Just that's how I've been. So I always go over and I feel her to make sure she's warm or, not too cold because of the AC. And just to give you some assurance, the reason she is because she was so worn out from yesterday.
I know.
She didn't want to nap. So
I know.
She had this dead log.
I woke up and I saw she hadn't moved since 4 hours, 21 minutes. And I go, oh my God, did I swallow her too tight? And I went over and I just put, oh, thank you, God. Okay. And then I went back to sleep. But
that's like the rest of our lives. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like it's always just going to be something.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm learning.
So back to not knowing where anything is.
Yes. And I talk about it like it's kind of like how I end the book of there are so many things during this phase we can't control. So let's take the reins on what we can. And our spaces is one of those things. And so if there are little things that you can do to just streamline your day a little bit more and have you less stressed, and especially in the new parent, how to approach all the different incoming gifts like we talked about, that's major because that's before anything happens. Also, when it comes to the nursery, there is so much pressure these days for this like massive reveal and the paint swatches and the decor and all of this. And I'm all for it. I'm all for a beautiful nursery. That's really stressful to try to get all of this done within a timeline that isn't going to move for you. Like a baby is coming, and let's prioritize the needs. Okay, what are the true needs of my baby? That is first and foremost. And what are my needs? Handling everybody's needs first before all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
Before the decor on the walls. You don't need decor on the walls for your baby to thrive and survive at home. And so kind of giving a outline of the things that I feel are necessary and the most important to prioritize and the things that can wait, just helping people wrap their head around that. Also, the two biggest mistakes that people will make, kind of 3 mistakes. So many mistakes now. So one is getting in the right mindset. And I talk a lot about that. I feel like you can find, how can I organize? Like, what are the steps? Anywhere. I mean, Google it. The steps are not much different in my book than you'll find all over the place. But there's so much more to it. Here's what the steps are. Here's how we're doing it. But why?
The why is the most
Why are we
important.
freaking doing it? And understanding the why within each space and the big picture why is huge. So the mindset, like you can't just wake up and expect that everything's going to change overnight and have all these, false expectations that you're not going to meet. I always think of the bridesmaid scene. Like, what did she say when she's like, you're setting me up to fail? Like, nobody can do anything in 2 seconds when he's like kicking her to the back of the plane because you don't want to set yourself up to fail. So, getting in the right mindset, but also allotting the appropriate amount of time. And that's where so many people fall off because I know, and I'm so guilty of it. You get this urge and you're like, I'm going to organize my freaking pantry today. Yes. You're emptying everything and everything's crazy. And then, oh, you forgot you had an appointment or you never had enough time to do this. And now you have to shove everything back and it's worse than it was. And you just find yourself in this weird cycle. And now that kind of, took all the steam out of you for wanting to do that. And so it's very important to have the appropriate amount of time. And if you're wanting to tackle your pantry, let's say you're like, okay, I want to tackle my pantry, but I don't have the time, but what are things that I can do? Start with one category. Let's just get all of our spices out of the pantry and let's assess those for expirations. Is there anything we're needing to replace? Let's purge what we don't need. There is one category. Great. Maybe when we have time, it's our cans.
Yeah.
Maybe after that, it's our dried goods. But when you break it up into bite-sized pieces.
You have to for the kitchen. It's too big.
You have to.
The kitchen's too big. I've had to do that where I'm like, okay, what platters am I not using that I can get rid of? Great.
Yes.
Like I bit little bites out of that kitchen when I was really deciding to reorganize. It's hard.
It's really hard. And finding the time, which is why most people, not most people, but why most of our clients hire us is because of the time aspect. Yeah, it's way easier to have a team of 5 come in and bang this out in a day.
And that you guys are going to think of things that we're not. Like I had organizers come in and help me organize my pantry and they put those little spin things in there. What a difference. Now I can spin through the honeys to find the one that I want.
Turntables.
Turntables.
Fancy.
Thank you. Yeah. And, boom.
Yes.
But like I'll go into the Container Store and I'm like, wait, I want all of it, but where am I putting it? The measuring is so annoying.
I know. And now I can do like most of it by eyesight. But at the beginning, yes. I mean, that'll make or break. And that's the other major mistake that people will make is they'll see organization products on sale and be like, oh my gosh, these are so cute. Or I love these canisters. Amazing. Buy them for no purpose. They want to find a purpose for it. Do not purchase product without a plan, period. And that should be for anything. Don't purchase anything without a plan. If you are not purposefully purchasing it to execute in some, forethought way in your home, do not do it because then you're forcing, you got this cute canister. You don't even know what it's for. Now you're just forcing it to be for your Q-tips, even though your Q-tips had a great place in your drawer, whatever, like random example. But not purchasing product before is a huge, huge thing. And then you talking about the turntables, even for you to understand why, like turntables are pretty, they look nice, but why is a turntable something that's so great, when you have bottles or jars? It's because you're able to take advantage of the space behind it. It's everything behind it is just as accessible as what's in the front because when you spin it, everything is accessible.
And it takes a second. So
it takes a second.
You don't have to move stuff to get to the back. You
knock things over. And it really allows everything to be seen because that's the biggest thing is having things visible. Visible and accessible. If you can see it, you will use it.
Yeah.
Period. And I know we all talked about
labels.
It too, the out of sight. And labels hold us accountable. Like sometimes do we get label crazy and like, we're marking very obvious things? Of course, we like uniformity. But like you're going to feel like a real ass putting oatmeal in the chips bin. Like you're just not going to do it. It holds you accountable. You're like, okay, this is telling me like you're not going to go against it. And so I feel like labels are for accountability. And then the next thing therefore is for the presentation because sometimes you just want everything to be labeled if you have a lot of things labeled.
Yeah. I really like labels. I like things having a place, like you said, because then I'm an asshole if I put the oatmeal in the chips bin.
Right? You feel crazy.
I'm breaking the rule.
Anarchy.
That's not where it's supposed to go. But when my office was at its best, I had all my little labeled boxes, my labeled bins. Everything had a place so that I could keep my desk clean, which now makes me realize I just got to go back to that method because there's mail. Then there's health stuff. Then there's, thank you cards. And everything can just be filed away for that day when I give myself that hour to go through the stuff. At least now my desk is clear. Things are where they got to go.
Yes.
And then if I want to go scan the health stuff and put it in my Dropbox, I can do that.
Yes.
If I want to go through my mail, I can do that and throw things away. But otherwise it piles up and it gets so frustrating.
I think also knowing what can be delegated. Like, I don't know your situation with, help or assistance, but sometimes that is what we need is if there is something that can be delegated to someone else. Like, we have clients who, they're housekeepers, once a quarter, one of the things that they're asking for assistance with is switching the clothing sizes. Now we're not 2T, we're 3T. Can you put all the 2Ts here? Like, if that is something that helps you move forward, to have somebody else assist with it, that's okay too. We just need to do what makes things easier for us.
That's the thing that gets so hard for me, is I feel like I'm so bogged down time-wise handling incoming mail, but it really does require me.
Right.
And just managing that, I feel like is such a big part of my day, and it's so exhausting. So now Kevin's been opening all the packages. Once they come in, he opens them, so I don't even have to spend the time.
It's amazing.
Open all the boxes.
Rhea,
Way to delegate.
Rhea, you'll be proud to know that I have a carpenter's knife at the front door, hidden in a planter, and I said to everyone, do not remove this. So as soon as they come in, I slice them open, I separate them, the cardboard goes into the recycling bin, and the items go upstairs along with labels so Maria knows who it came
That's
from.
a system.
Thank you very much.
Dying. I love it.
I love that so much. And all of those things being put into your calendar, and even if it's daily, like check mail, and maybe there is no mail that day, but just having it be just like something, brushing your teeth, the more that it just becomes a regular thing. And hopefully most days you're all caught up and it's really a non-issue. But it can't pile up if you're chipping away at it a little bit every day.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of little things. And I included that in the back of the book of like little ways that you can reset your spaces to just make yourself feel better.
And breathe.
Breathe.
Oh, don't we all just want to breathe?
We're all doing great.
I feel like we're just like little gerbils in that hamster wheel all the time. I just want to get off the freaking hamster wheel.
Get off the wheel.
This is so fun. I really, really enjoyed chatting with you and learning from you. And friends, you guys can get the book. It is available wherever books are sold. The Organized Home for New Parents. We'll have to have you back.
I would love that.
And maybe we talk about how to organize the rest of the family.
Yes. I want to get a look at your supplement situation.
Oh my Lord.
Give my thoughts.
Oh my Lord. I've tried so hard with the cabinet above. I've got a big basket. Kevin's got his at the top that I know he never even uses because it's at the top now. And I got my little one on the counter.
We're going to find the best system.
It's a mess. It's a mess. But I'm working through it. I'm trying. But I do believe, going full circle to Riz, the channeler, I do believe there's a reason that you came here today and that we talked about all of this, because it needed to come back to the front of my brain that this is what's bogging me down and stressing me out. And every time just lately, it's been happening where, like the baby Breeza, I couldn't find the little thing that you have to clean. And it was because my nanny put it in the sterilizer and I wasn't expecting it to be in there. And I'm like looking all over the house for it. Finally, she says it's in there. I put it in. It's still not working. Now I'm smashing the thing, trying to get it to work,
my gosh.
cleaning it all over again because it's saying clean, only for her to come back today to say, oh, well, there was a second piece that goes in it that's still in the sterilizer. And I'm like, oh my Lord. And then and
you probably lost like 15 minutes.
But not only that, but then when I'm hand making the formula, you're doing the scoops.
Yes.
She's at 7 scoops. I lost track at 4. I go, did I do 4 or did I do 5? So then you're like, oh my God, am I going to overfeed the baby? And then you're
like trying to look at the thickness. You're like, I don't know. They'll be fine.
So yeah, I've been slipping a little, guys.
How many hundreds, tens of thousands of years of people having babies?
That's all my mom
of
says.
These things. Sanitizers.
Yeah, my dad laughed at me sanitizing.
What are we doing?
We didn't do that.
We use our tongue, we clean the plate, we eat again.
That is so amazing. It was baby number 1. We were psychopaths.
Yeah.
Nuts. Like I even had the stuff for the passy. Everything. And then by baby number 3, it was like,
I think I'm pretty good though,
Let's
Boo.
cut
I just
right
get
to that.
frustrated when I don't have the things I need to do my job. So it was like that thing, and then the minivan wouldn't open. I couldn't get the key
Okay, how
fob
great
to
are
work.
minivans, by the way?
Wait, our new minivan, our Toyota Sienna, shout out to Toyota Sienna, is the greatest vehicle I think I've owned. I live to drive that car. It's so amazing.
I miss my minivan.
Mocked me for decades.
I mocked you. No, I got on board at some point, but I
You were
I didn't
like,
want it to be
oh,
like a daily driver.
no, you were like, it's fine to take Max to the vet. It was that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then you're like part of the crew. I mean, I was like nodding at other minivan drivers. I was like, we're all. And now I got a Suburban when we moved to Texas, and I miss especially the doors.
Yeah. They're so easy.
And now I'm like, don't hit the car, don't hit the car, don't hit the car. Like they just swing these doors open like crazy people,
Yeah.
and I miss our sleek
Your nice
sliding.
sliding door. We've got some
So nice.
portable recliners.
So
back
many
there.
cup holders,
But
so much storage.
But I think, Boo, I've been pretty chill. I don't think I've been a psychopath about baby. I've been actually really cool and calm.
right?
I'll stab you in your sleep
No,
tonight.
The silence is agreement.
Honey, I will stab
No,
you in
no,
your
no,
sleep
no,
tonight.
You're taking that the
The
wrong
pillow's
way.
going over your head.
That's
No,
full agreement.
honey.
I
I said
literally-
outside
I
of the
couldn't
baby
even-
Breeza
no, no,
moment
no,
and the
no.
minivan moment.
I couldn't even respond because
Or when I
I'm
can't find her
so
sleep sack.
deeply in agreement.
Honey, I'm going to kill you tonight.
Yes, we're on the way to our beach
Nat,
house.
do not feel like you need to edit that out.
And
I am going to
Maria-
kill you tonight.
and Maria is having a heart attack over. I'm like, okay, so I'll just hand make the milk. Then it's the minivan. I'm like, okay, I'll just use the automatic. I'll just use the key to open the doors.
Best is he kept
What
staying
are-
calm, and I was just
what
like,
are we
well, now
talking
this isn't
about?
working.
When you need that good balance.
I had a moment.
I'm like, it's a Saturday.
I'm going to record your moments,
like-
and I'm going to
Yes.
put them out to the world.
We
Okay.
all have our
Mm-hmm.
moments.
Yes, we all
Yes,
do,
honey.
don't we?
I have
Yes.
them all the time.
all do.
I'm dead. He loves to mock me. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode where I was mocked to no end at the end. No, I hope this episode helped you. I think for all of us, we could use a little bit more organization in our lives. I think we've gotten messier and messier as humans, to be honest, because we have more stuff. There's more stuff.
That's what it is.
And Amazon coming to the door has just made it too easy.
COVID was a double-edged sword when it came to homes because one, people were really wanting to tackle their spaces because they were in them for the first time, extended amounts of time.
Mm-hmm.
But also people were buying more than ever. So it was like as quickly as you're getting rid of things, you're just buying new things. And so
Yeah. And one last solve for everybody, because I love solving. If you can't afford to hire an organizer, my best solution is to find a friend who has earth in her chart. Find your organized friend and do a swap and say, if you will help me come organize this, I will help you go and do this.
Yes.
Whatever this is. Or it could be organization swap days. My friend came over and helped me clean out my closet. We wiped out trash bags upon trash bags
you're
of
so
clothing.
much more productive with another person.
Yeah, because he was able to look at it and say, no, you're never wearing this. No, you're never wearing this. Certain things that I would have held on to, he didn't let me. And then when he's needed help, I've been there for him. So you gotta buddy up sometimes.
Most people will just do it for wine. I mean, my friends ask me for help all the time. I'm like, yeah, just like have a good
Some wine and
good
cheese.
bottle of wine for me, and I'm there.
I love
Especially
it.
because I like helping other people more than my own spaces. But
I love
at a
it.
time.
I'll give you 2 bottles of wine if you come help me.
heck yeah, I'm an easy buy.
All right, friends. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and of course, check out the links inside the summary of this episode. Buy the book, The Organized Home for New Parents. And of course, you can follow Ria. We'll put her Instagram on or within the summary of this episode as well. In the meantime, be nice people, make good choices, and be present.
Maria, don't move. It closed for part 1 and then open for part 2.
Okay.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or MariaMenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.